not everybody jumps to work here because, first of all, like the biggest turnover rate is because we work so late into the morning. It's a really fun job. You get to meet interesting people.
Yeah.
You get to meet, you know, like she said, fellow students on campus. And
I started and I was like, oh, I need a job, this would be great. I'm good at staying up late. And I feel like I'm doing like a good service, which is also good.
I do it because it's a really cool service to help people get home safely.
And most people respect the service. You know, there's always a few people that sloppy wasted.
If I had money, these vans would have hydraulics that would jump them 20 feet off the ground, and they would have like gold spoke rams. They would be spinning, like constantly spinning. Like
they wouldn't have to call you. You just see them rolling up because they have so much blend on the wheels.
Oh yeah, no. These vans would like jump over houses. Yeah.
Out on the job, there's all sorts of different people.
If you work on a weekday, it's most people studying, and during the weekdays it's kind of like shorter rides where you have the potential for peaking.
Sometimes it's just someone trying to get home just because they're at a friend's house, not necessarily intoxicated at all.
You'll get people that are like really grateful for the ride. They'll treat you really nice, and they'll just talk to you and just be respectful.
And other times we get really large groups of people who are loud and rowdy and having a good time.
The larger the group, the more potential there is for trouble. There are some people that are like kind of belligerently drunk, and they'll kind of be like, so you guys like the job? Do you guys like, what do you guys do? And they'll kind of like make fun of you for driving, or they'll make fun of your music, or they'll just like harass you, and if they start to harass you, just like pull over. And you're like, well, you can get a ride, or you can get out.
We're not a taxi service, we're a get home safe service. We can't give people multiple rides a night, we only drive them to and from places, so we can't just like we can't just party hop people around.
Like you try and make sure you only give people one ride a night, because that's like, you're supposed to be taking them home. And
it's completely inevitable sometimes. Sometimes people will give you like a set address.
Right, and they know exactly where they're going sometimes too.
So, you know, what are you going to do when you get to your destination? You're just going to refuse to let them out of your van. Like, there's nothing you can really do.
I think that people are going to drink whether DDS is here or not. And if DDS can curb the amount of people who are then driving home, or not even necessarily driving home, but unsafely, like walking late at night.
It's hard to like get back safely.
Yeah, like on our way here we took the bus, and on our way back we were hoping that either DDS slash the APS would be able to take us back, because
Stop running.
after like 11:30, 11. Seriously, there would be a strong incentive to drive from parties.
It would be, yes. On a serious note, and you would always be on the borderline of like, oh, you know, I've only had 4.
Especially in Eugene, with the weather being bad and cold, like a lot of people would be incentivized to want to get in their cars and just drive home and make it easy on themselves.
Yeah.
It'd be really dangerous.
Or the worst is when they go to parties thinking that they're just going to have 1 or 2 beers, but then they of course have more, and then they're like, well, I can't leave my car here now, I have to take it back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure. You'd be like, oh, I'm going to get a ticket if I leave my car
And then
here.
they're like, well, I'm a poor student, so I don't want to take a cab either.
Yeah, well, nobody takes cabs.
Yeah.
And I think that's like one misconception too, is that people just think Designated Driver Shuttle is for people who just get sloppy wasted and then just want to ride home. But actually, most of the rides, probably 95% of the rides during the week, are just kids that don't have transportation, don't want to ride 5 miles home on their bike.
I mean, we have a certain amount of vans per night for a reason. I mean, during the weekdays, sometimes it's only 1. As the weekend progresses, we add more and more vans to the night. So we really look at the demand and we address that accordingly.
Because upperclassmen generally don't call DDS, but as much as like the younger people do, because upperclassmen generally had no friends with cars.
The first night I worked, I only had like 17 riders, but last week I think I had like 44, 45 riders. So, and I think somebody said last week that they got 60.
But you know people that drive drunk?
Yes. Yes, which is pretty unfortunate, especially if they know someone like me who can come up with a ride.
We get tips sometimes we don't.
Thank you DDS.
You're welcome.
We wouldn't have gotten home without you.